Hey guys, welcome back to the channel, and today we're going to be reacting to.
Is our universe inside a black hole?
Evidence that our universe might exist inside a black hole? What's up
That'd
with
be really
that?
cool.
Well, let's back up for a
Cool.
moment, okay? And put some base information on the table. A black hole is a region of space and time where the strength of gravity is so high that light has no path to get out of the object. All paths through space-time curve back in on itself. Normally we think of a hole as a hole in the floor, and you fall through, come out the other side, except it's a three-dimensional hole. You can fall in any direction. That edge beyond which there's no return, we call the event horizon. It's a horizon. The universe has a horizon too. It is a distance beyond which no information can reach us because the universe isn't old enough for light from anything beyond that horizon to have gotten here yet. By the way,
That's
the more
crazy.
mass is in a black hole, the bigger the black
Just the whole concept of this is so surreal. It's mind blowing.
Yeah, the design of the world is so interesting.
hole becomes. In fact, if you run the math on it, it's linear. So a black hole that's twice as massive as another one will be twice the diameter. 10 times as massive, the event horizon, which is our practical definition of the size of the black hole, will be 10 times as large. There's a cool exercise we do in graduate school. You can say, given the mass of the universe, how big would the black hole be that contained this much mass? It's the size of our universe to our horizon. And it's like, wait a minute, could we be one giant black hole? The average density of matter contained within the size of our cosmic horizon matches right on with what you get for a black hole this size. That's intriguing. Maybe
It's
it's just
pretty
a
cool. That means we're protected in a way, in a sense.
We are protected. I mean, it's just even if there was a black hole and sucking it in, we would never be alive to experience that. I feel like probably even our planet would get burnt out by the time it would come too. So it's like we're not at risk.
coincidence. What would it mean anyway for us to be inside a black hole? How would that work? Well, it turns out if you run the mathematics of Einstein's general
I
theory
mean,
of relativity,
honestly, I think not. I think the point at hand, the most important question is not how that would work. That's all cute and for scientists, but I think what for regular people, it's like, why does that matter? Like, I think if we are inside of a black hole, why should we care about it? Should we even care about it? Because for all that stuff he's talking about, that's cool for scientists to find out, very fun. But like for regular people, it's like, are we inside a black hole or not? And if we are, what does that mean? Why should we care? I think those are the points that regular people would be interested in to hear.
into a black hole, it turns out a whole new space-time opens up on the other side. And you look behind you and the entire future history of the universe unfolds relative to your time
I
frame.
feel like
And
also
so
I want to see the perspective of our planet and then the other planets in respect to this black hole.
Yeah, I think we wouldn't even know then because we would be inside the black hole, so we wouldn't know what's outside of it because it's so vast.
the universe you came from basically ends and a whole new universe opens up in front of you. Are we that universe that opened up in front of us? Okay, these are mind-bending questions. Well, there's recent research published that suggests that the contents of our universe has sort of a net rotation to it. Well, that'd be kind of weird. So in the study, it observed several hundred galaxies from the best observing directions you can come up with, which is above and below the plane of our Milky Way. And it noticed a net rotation of spiral galaxies in one direction versus the other. So if you look at spiral galaxies, if half of them sort of rotate like that and the other half rotate the opposite way, then they kind of cancel. But if most of them are rotating in the same sense, in the same direction, then that could hint that there's a net angular momentum of the entire universe. So what did they find? That 2/3 of the spiral galaxies measured rotated in the opposite direction as the Milky Way. So 2/3 is not 100%, but it's certainly more than half. We expect this to just be random. Normally in our lives, we think of something that rotates because some other force set it into motion to do so. And we look in the universe and everything is rotating, and then you ask, what force is making that happen? Turns out, all of our evidence suggests that when you make a galaxy or a star system or a star or a planet, there's some gas cloud that started it. If the gas cloud has any motion at all, the tiniest amount, as it collapses, its rotation will speed up. The gas cloud that was large, moving just a little, will move much faster as it gets smaller. And you know this already when you see ice skaters. When an ice skater spins and they want to spin faster, they start with their arms outstretched.
Dog Chow's mission of life-saving.
And they have a certain rotation speed by virtue of that. As they bring their arms in, this is a phenomenon of physics called the conservation of angular momentum. If you start out large and now you're half the size, you're going to be rotating twice as fast. If you want 10th the size, you're going to be rotating 10 times as fast. Is that right? mv squared over r. Right? This is why everything in the universe has some kind of rotation, because it's essentially impossible for any large gas cloud to not have motions within it to begin with. Often they're thermal motions. There's turbulence within the cloud before it sort of collapses to become something solid. Because of the turbulence within the clouds, there's no reason to think they would align with each other. They're each independent entities, so that when they collapse and the final product is spinning, there's no reason to think that the spin of this object is going to match up with the spin of an object over here. We have every reason to presume that there's no net spin direction of the universe or objects within it. So if we find and confirm that there is, we got to go back and ask, how could you get that, given our expectations of randomness? Well, that was linked to the idea that we might be in a black hole. Here's why. There's only two kinds of information you can obtain that are preserved inside that black hole: the mass, the total mass, and the angular momentum. Because anything falling in, if it falls in with a swirl, toilet bowl style, that angular momentum continues into the black hole itself. If there's a net angular momentum of the universe, where did it come from? It's not obvious that would come from a Big Bang, which is an explosion in all directions statistically evenly. What could it be? Could we be a black hole with a net angular momentum of stuff that spiraled into us? So that's where the black hole connects back to whether the universe is rotating. So I look forward to seeing whether this result is confirmed or falsified. It's an intriguing result, and the number of galaxies was not very large, just a few hundred.
Wow, the people
And
who
there are
do
billions
this
of
kind
galaxies.
of research, they're very fascinating. Like, just to study how like the Earth works, the world works. That's just so fascinating. The topic.
Yeah, very fascinating subject. Space
Because
and
then, what do you do with the information? Can we harness it? Can we use it for
um,
something? Or
I think
because I feel like the whole purpose of it is to harness that energy for a purpose. No, we don't just typically just let it be.
I think just to understand it better,
For the
un-
purpose of what?
science. I think in terms of if you want like something, grasp it like there's no point in it, but just to kind of understand how the world works, I think it's for that purpose, because there's a lot of questions about the universe. It's so I think it's for that, and also maybe the whole time thing. What is time? Kind of like time
But
travel, like
but-
us. No.
But even for the funding of this, you report to someone, they want this information for something, a particular use for it. Like what will be, they have to submit like what is the purpose, yeah, for educational purposes, but potentially what can it be used for, you know?
Going out to space.
Yeah.
That's the only thing I can
Mhm.
think of. I
I
don't
think
know.
I think for expanding like a human race outside from our domains, can we
Probably.
capture more land? Because I feel like natural purpose of people is, especially from based on history, is to receive more land, to do more land, to govern more.
Yeah, that, and maybe, like as I said, the time thing, because everywhere in space is in the past, right?
Mhm.
Because the light moves, light
Mhm.
speed and whatnot. Is there like a parallel universe that mirrors us, but just us in the past? Can we find that?
Mhm.
Can we somehow travel to that, go back in time? I think it's all those questions, and very, very fascinating.
He's out there. So I'll reserve judgment until I see what others publish on this subject. Anyhow, that was a what's up with that on whether or not we are living in a black hole. And if we were, what difference does it make?
Right,
It's fun to
that's
talk about.
Yeah.
I think that's the, as I said, most important question. Why do we care about it? Like, does it affect our day-to-day lives?
Mm.
Are we in the black hole or not?
I feel like this is like an Austin Powers movie.
Because I feel like the only thing maybe is that it kind of removes that fear that we will get sucked into the black hole. Because at one point, when I was younger, I was like, there was like, are we gonna get sucked into the black hole? But now, if we are in black hole, so we can't get sucked in anymore. So okay, peacefully now.
Oh.
But,
Until next time, keep looking up.
all right, I guess that's it.
Very
If you love
interesting
a good-
content.
Oh yeah, I guess that's it.
Guys, of course, let us know your thoughts. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the Discord. And as always, share as much kindness as possible.